the ERIC documents, let's take a look at the EJs, which the first 3, 4, 5. Good. Got a lot of them here. That's good. That's what I wanted to talk about. When you see EJs, you're going to see some of them are going to have, like number 2 has a link to HTML full text. This one has a link to PDF full text. Some of them might have a little note that says available in Erlang Library. Remember that stuff? Some of them might have a link that says another database name. Okay, this one says Project Muse text. The link to the text in another one of our databases called Project Muse. JSTOR text. Same thing. Okay. Sometimes there's a combination of things, like this one's in JSTOR and also in the library. We wrote that over from JSTOR. Some things won't have either of those things, any of those things, but they will have Git interlibrary look. Okay. With the journals, it's pretty cut and dry. Okay, when you're using ERIC through here, there's either going to be text right here in the database. There's going to be a note that says you can get it in the library, or there's going to be a link to interlibrary look. So it is pretty cut and dry when you're using ERIC, knowing for the journals, knowing the journal articles, knowing how to get your hands on it. Okay. The request form in here is one of my summer projects, but for right now it requires a great deal of information. The form requires a lot more information than I actually need. I need to know who you are, and it's helpful to have your email address. Just jog my memory as to that. Oh yeah, that way I really know who you are. The form requires at this time a library card number, an address, a phone number. So the form will require you to type something in those fields. I don't need that information. Type something so that the form will let you place the request. I don't need your library card information. So that's interlibrary loan. Notice when you look at any of these things, again, they do have all those descriptors. This one we told it we wanted it to have class rank and academic achievement, I believe, and it does. Okay. I mentioned that there's this, we talked about the fact that there was elementary, secondary. They also, just to confuse matters, have descriptors that say high schools, high school students. So you'll have to decide. This is a perfect choice sometimes in the early stages of the game for that, or actually anything about high schools, high school students, or secondary education at this stage in my process, it's probably fine, right? You know, perhaps. As you focus in, I would be willing to bet if you look in the thesaurus and you look up high school students versus high schools, and there's obviously there's a student focus and then there's a school focus. But this one, you look at both, and often, of course, you look at things holistically. Students are part of the school. Any other questions about what you're seeing in ERIC? ERIC can be, because it does such a great job of indexing the education literature, it can be just a great place to get your feet wet, get in there and see what you find. The ERIC documents, I will say one thing about them.
I do have a
yes.
question.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry to
Question.
stop. So on this one it says, it's not available through the ERIC database, but it is with Sociindex. Do we have PDF? I'm like, why is it even there?
Yeah, the access stuff when you're looking at the this screen can sometimes be confusing because there's this availability business, okay? And those EDs that have full text, this is where that link is found. For whatever reason, this is where that is. Full text database, there might be a name of a database here, which is another database available through the EBSCO platform, which is what we're using right now. But then at the bottom, there's sometimes a link to something. And this is where the interlibrary loan request form can be. You will find things sometimes that have like a zillion different links on here. Sometimes, and then if there's a note about the library, that is, I think that appears down here, though it might be up here. I don't remember where. I wanted to get back though and look at, I wanted to show you what an ED record would look like that was actually a book, because they look a little different. So I don't know if you noticed what I did. I just narrowed my search. There was a publication type way to limit it. I narrowed it down to book, purely because that's what I wanted to show you. It's not necessarily something you do. 276 pages. That's an awfully long report if it's a book report. But what you can, you pull them up. Books. It's a book. Okay. Eric doesn't know what we have in our collection. He has no idea. Okay. So if you request something through if you request something that's a book through interlibrary loan, you're not going to get the Nastygram, no problem if we have it, I understand. But if you want to maximize your chances of getting your hands on this as fast as possible, I'd recommend, and you find something that's a book, it's a really good idea to take the title and the information and you go back to WorldCat. Remember that first thing I showed you? Plunk it into WorldCat. It'll tell you really quickly with that little highlighted note whether or not we have it, and you can place an interlibrary loan right there from WorldCat if you don't. Okay. Does that make sense? The difference in timing is if you place an interlibrary loan through Eric, okay, it goes to me, and I say, and I do my little job, and I replace your request for you, okay? And I figure out if we have it first, no problem. You'll get it in a week to 10 days. Okay. If you place it right through WorldCat, there's no me involved. It goes right to the first library that has it, okay? It's going to take a day or two, if not more sometimes, off the time. And you're going to know that it's not sitting on a shelf upstairs. Okay. So interlibrary loan, I've showed you how to place a request through WorldCat, and I've shown you how you can place a request through Eric. But sometimes you just find something on the web and you want it, right? You just want it. Which is fine. If the thing that you find, whether it's on the web or in a book or whatever, if it is a book, do WorldCat. Search it first, it'll tell you whether or not we have it, and we can place the request right from there, okay? If the thing that you find is an article, what was it research in drama education or something?
It's right here. It's drama and imagination and cognitive theory of drama's effect on narrative comprehension.
Research in drama education. Okay. So if you find
Yeah.
the article, the
There we go.
it's okay. If you find it, that's fine. It's a good example. If you find an article like that, you want to find out if that journal is available here. It's the first step. Okay, because interlibrary loan is to get stuff that we don't have here. Okay, first figure out if it's here. And the way to do that is in this find articles thing, there's this periodical system right here. And so I'm going to okay, and it does not come up. You can also search this just by individual words. So if I wanted to be darn sure, I could just put in one word from the title and see everything that comes up that happens to have that. It's an education-related word, but that's okay. I figured there would be fewer of them. So you'll see what this does is it tells you everything. So it tells you things that are in the library, and when they're here, it tells you things that are in one of the EBSCO databases. It tells you things that are in all of the databases, so JSTOR, Project News. Okay, so the first step when you find an article someplace else is to figure out, do we have access to that journal? Okay, that access could be in paper, that access could be in any of these databases, and this list knows where all that stuff is. Okay, so that's the first step. And if we don't, which it doesn't look like we do on this one, then that's where this interlibrary loan section comes in. There's a request form for a book, and there's a request form for an article. But there are these buttons here at the top for, let's see what they say, print, email. This would email the information or a link to or links to the text of the article. Save. Cite this article. That will theoretically build a citation for you. I would trust Zotero more than I would trust EBSCO's citations, and still Zotero